good morning. Welcome back. We meet again. I'm Teacher Kiran from SMJK Sin Min, Kedah. How are you feeling this morning? Okay, today's lesson, teacher will be sharing on the paper 2, SPM Writing 2021. Yeah, you'll be sitting for your SPM. Actually, not this year, next year. Okay, so today's lesson will be sharing of writing tips for part 1 essay and part 2 essay. Okay, so in today's lesson, pupils will be able to learn the assessment scales for part 1 and part 2. Study sample questions, read sample answers, know how to score, and know how to avoid losing marks. Okay, that's very important, right? So stay tuned. Please make sure you have your notebooks with you. Take down some notes and also your download textbook, students. This will be also very handy for the Form 4 students, okay? Because this is actually it's new for everyone, okay? For the Form 5s, you all are the pioneers, the first batch sitting for the new KSSM CEFR SPM paper, okay? Right, so as we know, paper 2 writing, it is 1 hour 30 minutes. And you are supposed to write 3 essays, okay? So it's 25%. So 4 skills tested, each skill is 25%, okay? And the 3 parts that will be tested, your essays are of different CEFR ranges, okay? The first part, which is an email, it is A2 level, which is very low. The second essay, part 2, is B1 level, and the third essay, part 3, where you have a choice of 3, you're supposed to choose 1. So that is of the highest range, which is B2, okay? So 60 marks altogether will be converted to 25%. So you have to answer in the question paper. That means you write your essay in the question paper, okay? Right. So as teacher has told you just now, okay? So A2 level is very low. Low level, it's equivalent to UPSR, standard 6 level. So it's very easy to score, okay? And all you need to do is to write an email, a friendly, conversational email of about 80 words to a friend or to a relative, okay? And part 2, B1, slightly higher, you're supposed to write an essay of about 125 to 150 words. And part 3, you have a choice of 3 essays. Okay, so you choose 1. And the 3 essays are all of different formats. And that's about 200 to 250 words. So today's lesson, teacher will be focusing only on only on 1 and part 2. So the coming lesson, I will be sharing on part 3. Okay, right. So let's look at the marking criteria. Okay, the scale. So we have 4 criteria. So we have C for content, CA for communicative achievement, O for organization, and L for language. So when we teach us marks, so we have to give you marks based on this C, CA, O, and L. Each criterion has 5 marks. The highest mark will be 5. Okay, the maximum mark 5, and the lowest is 0. Okay, but you don't. You should always aim the highest. Okay, you should always aim for the highest mark 5. So for content, you need to respond to all the requirements of the question. What the question wants you to do, you have to write in your essay. If you have written all, you can get 4 or 5 marks for content. Okay? So you have to read the questions very, very carefully. All right? CA is the tone, communicative achievement, how you write. Are you writing an essay which is informal or formal, friendly? You need to hold the reader's attention. Okay? Make it interesting, share some ideas, give some examples, and correct format. Okay, and O is organization, where you need to have some paragraphs for your essays. You need to have some linkers, for example, and, but, because, firstly. And cohesive devices are slightly higher than the linkers, where you connect paragraphs mostly, yeah, like furthermore, moreover, additionally. And language includes vocabulary, or known as lexis, grammar, and structures. Of course, spelling too. Okay, go on one by one. We look at one by one. Once you know the marking scale, you know how to focus when you write. You know what you should have in your essay to score. All right. So these are overall for all the three parts. Teacher is sharing the marking scale for all the three parts overall. Okay. So for content, if you have all your answers, all the questions answered, for example, you need to give an advice or suggest ideas. You give enough ideas, enough advice, you can get full marks. Okay, so a score of 5 requires all content is relevant to the task. Okay, don't give something where it's not asked. Don't give anything extra out of the question. Okay, and make sure the target reader is fully informed. All right, so and if you misinterpret the task requirement, means you don't understand what the task is asking you, what the question is all about, you might get low scores. Okay, that means you are not responding to the question. Let me show you an example. Okay, you are asked to suggest ideas for free time activities, meaning hobbies. But in your email, for instance, you give health tips. So there is a slight difference. Okay, let's look at the example here. This is part of an email. Okay. Let me share some ideas. You should eat healthy food and sleep well. You should also drink enough water. Besides, you can exercise at least 3 times a week. Now, look at this. Are these free time activities? No, right. So if it's not, then there are minor irrelevances. Okay, so you might not get full marks for your content. So read carefully, make some notes when you read the questions. Okay, so make sure you have some time to plan before you write. Don't straight away write. Okay, and let's go on. Communicative achievement. Okay, it's the appropriateness and correct format register function used in your essay. For example, if you are telling a story, it should look like a story. If you are writing an email, it should look like it's an email sent to someone. You know, it's email and a story, the tone, the style of writing, they are different. Okay, so they are individually unique. So you should know how to write a story, how to start a story, and there should be a difference between a story and an email or a review or article. Okay, so that is where CA comes in. Apart from that, we also look at how formal or informal or semi-formal your essay is. If you're writing a report, it should be formal, informal, or semi-formal. Semi-formal means in between. It should be formal. Okay, report is a formal writing. If you're writing an email, what type of writing is that? Formal, informal, or semi-formal? It is informal. Okay, so that's how we look at your CA, how you deliver your ideas. Holding the target reader's attention here is the quality of your text. Okay, is it interesting? Are the ideas very concrete? You can understand well if someone is asking you for advice and you give them good advice, and finally I understand what you're saying and I'm happy with your advice. So you have actually fulfilled the target reader's attention and requirement of the text. Okay, and interesting or not? Okay, right. So all communicative purposes here, meaning that if you need to make a complaint or you need to suggest ideas, have you given enough? Okay, have you given enough? So this is under CA. Now let's look at this example so that you understand what CA is all about. Okay, so here the question is you are supposed to share some fun activities to de-stress. De-stress here means to release stress. Okay, so this is part 1 email, all right? So which of the below follows the CA criteria closely? So which one of these two scripts, part of the email, has a higher mark? You can give a higher mark for CA. Okay, let's look at script A. There are many fun ways to de-stress. First, you need to exercise regularly. Cycling and jogging are some great exercises. They train you to have a good stamina and to stay fit as well. So I see a lot of points on fun activities to de-stress. We have cycling, we have jogging. Okay, let's look at script B. Let me share some interesting activities we can do together. How about if we cycle to the nearby park in the evening? We can play badminton too. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, so we also have all those cycling there, we have badminton there. So content-wise, both can get full marks, right? So content, they have fun activities to de-stress, both script A and script B. But look at the delivery of the idea, which is the CA. Which one has the correct format of an email? Which one is very friendly? A or B? Come on, type in the chat. Yeah, correct. B. Okay, so B is more friendly. You see, let me share. So you can see the close contact between the sender and the recipient. Recipient is the person who receives the email. Okay, and we can do together. Okay, we can play badminton. We uses the word we. Wouldn't that be great? So it's very conversational, very friendly, informal. Whereas the first one, the tone is more like an article of a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so you see the difference now? I hope you can understand what CA is all about now. Okay, right, let's go on to organization is how you put your text together, how the ideas are linked. Okay, coherence. Coherence here means the flow. Okay, is the text connected? Is it well organized? Very systematic? Okay, so are the devices used appropriately? Devices here meaning the cohesive devices like furthermore, however, additionally, besides. Okay, so are they properly put in the beginning of a paragraph or in the middle? They should mean, they should give a proper meaning. They should link the ideas well. Don't simply put and then it's not relevant. Okay, how much variety is there? How many devices you use? Are they of a variety or do you repeat them? Okay, linking words are simpler than cohesive devices. Linking words or linkers, they are like and, but. Okay, so linking words usually just link ideas in one sentence like and, but, so, or, firstly. Okay, so cohesive devices are those that would link paragraphs, would link ideas. Okay, so paragraphing is also very important. Even for email, you should write in paragraphs, at least 2. Okay, but don't write too many. Email is very short. And punctuation is also very important. It comes under organization. If you write an essay with a lot of commas, no full stop, then it becomes quite choppy, it becomes quite blurry, you cannot understand it very well, so you might lose your marks. So make sure you punctuate correctly. All right. Let's look at the example here, so you can understand how O is given marks. Okay, so script A, first of all, drastic action should be taken towards the irresponsible people. So this one is an article, okay? However, they litter the plastic bags everywhere and they should be fined heavily. Moreover, the government should play their role in combating this problem. Okay, you can see there are linkers in blue and cohesive devices in pink. Okay, let's look at script B. First of all, drastic action should be taken towards the irresponsible people. If they litter the plastic bags everywhere, then they should be fined heavily. Secondly, the government should play their role in combating this problem. Combating means solving, fighting this problem, okay? Right, so which of these two scripts has better linkers or cohesive devices used? A or B? Remember, the linkers or the cohesive devices should be used effectively, not simply just put them there and expect to get high marks. Which one? Okay, the answer is B. Why? Okay, let's look at B. Now, if you look at however is a cohesive device that shows something in contrast, something opposite, an opposite point. Okay, you look, drastic action should be taken. So we are talking about drastic action, and however they litter. So it's actually a continuity or elaboration of the first point. It shouldn't be however, it should be moreover or furthermore, okay, or additionally, right? So, and then you can see before moreover, there is a comma, not a full stop. It should be a full stop, okay? So it's like inappropriately used and not effective. So keep this in mind, okay, students? All right, let's go to L. L, we have a few criteria. Okay, well, firstly is your vocabulary or lexis. You should have good choice of words. Don't simply memorize and put them in and they don't serve the purpose. They don't help in delivering the ideas. Okay? Now, you can use some uncommon lexis, meaning new words. Not everybody knows these words. Okay? Some new words that we have learned. But remember that these words should be used effectively. Okay? So, if you want to memorize good words or good lexis or uncommon lexis, please make sure you remember them in sentences, okay? All right, let's look at this example. The restaurant has many types of food. Okay, we understand that. Second one, the restaurant has many types of delicious food. Okay, better than the first one. The third one, the restaurant has a plethora of delicious food. Oh, a plethora of, what is that? It means many types, okay? A variety of delicious food. Let's look at the fourth one. The restaurant has a plethora of delicious cuisines. So cuisines here meaning food or dishes, right? So the fourth one has some uncommon lexis, some new words. So you can score better, okay, if you were to write like the fourth sentence, all right? Understand, huh? And grammar is also part of the language mark. So make sure you avoid basic errors, especially errors in tenses. Students tend to make errors in tenses. Okay, let's look at this example. Can you spot the errors? Early of morning, they go to the old bungalow. They enter inside bungalow. They are scared. It is dark. So this is part of the story part 3, yeah? So can you spot the errors? Which one is wrong? Okay, it's here. Okay, it should be early in the morning, not early of morning. So here preposition is wrong. Okay, they go to is wrong. It should be they went to because it's past. Story should be written in the past tense, mostly past tense. They entered. They were scared. It was dark. Okay. So be careful of your tenses, students, and all the other grammatical errors. Try to brush them off. They are like viruses. You clear the virus, okay? Yeah, then only you can add in the supplement, which are the vocabulary, the good words. Here, if you have a lot of errors and you add vocabulary, it becomes like, everything is mixed and the idea is not so smooth anymore. Okay? Now, sentence structures are also part of language. It should be varied. There should be many types of sentences, not the same pattern, very monotonous, very boring. Okay? If you want to show the marker you are good in English, you should be able to show the marker that you can write in many types of sentences. You have a variety of sentences or structures. Let's look at this one. Early in the morning, they went to the old bungalow. They entered the bungalow. They were so scared. It was dark. So you can see it's all in simple structures. Okay, and you can see most of the sentences, they have they here, they, again, they. It sounds boring. Okay, it sounds like you have lack of ideas, okay, or lack of variety in your structures. Let's look at the second one. Early in the morning, they went to the old bungalow. When they reached it, they entered slowly. So this is a complex sentence. Though it's short, it's complex. There are two ideas here, two words. Okay? They were so scared as it was very dark. You see the difference a little bit? Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Now, in language, errors can impede communication. That's why you lose your marks. Impede here means it disturbs the understanding. When the marker or the reader or the teacher reads, you cannot understand, meaning you don't get your marks. Let's look at this example. Morning, the old bungalow dark. They inside bungalow, boys dark, the old bungalow. Can you understand? I can't. I don't know whether it's the bungalow that is dark or the boys are dark. Which one? So there is a confusion. So students, you have to make sure whatever you write, the readers should understand. If you are weak, try to make short sentences. It's fine. At least we can understand your essay, you get your marks. Okay, like the second written point here, meaning can still be determined. That means some effort is required to understand. That means after I read a few times, I can understand. Then I'll give you the marks. Okay? For example, here, early of morning, they go all bungalow, they enter bungalow, they are scared it's very dark. Can you understand this? Yeah, there are many errors, but can we understand it? We can. Compared to the first one, we cannot, the one on the top. Okay? So that's the meaning of impede communication. Okay, now let's go to the first part, email writing. So it's, like I said just now, it's A2 level, very low level, like year 6 level. So for Form 5 students, this should be your bonus. You should grab your marks here in part 1. You should get 20 marks or 19 or 18. Whatever, you should just try to score because it's very low level. As long as you fulfill the requirement, you follow the ideas well, the CA, the O, the L, you can get 20 out of 20. It's easy actually, yeah? And it revolves around familiar topics, the topics around you, like family, hobbies, friends, subjects, activities. Okay? Right. So you need to read the questions carefully, highlight, do some planning. Okay, remember the CA, it should be friendly, informal, email, it should be quite interesting as well. Paragraphs, linkers, cohesive devices, you must have as well. Maybe not so many, but you should have a variety. Okay, a grammar, vocab, structures for your language also will be taken into account. All right. Now, if you look at page 14 of your download book, there are some tips on how to write a good email. Okay, let's look at page 14, exercise 2. Okay, you have received an email from your English speaking friend. Our teacher has asked us to prepare a talk on what young people in different countries do when they are not at school. Can you help by writing and explaining what it's like in your country? What do young people do at home? Where do they go out? And what do they do there? Thanks, Billy. So there are 3 things you need to remember. These are the content that you need to have in your email. What are they? What young people do at home? Number 1. Where do they go out? Number 2. What do they do there? Number 3. So you do a pre-planning. Think. Okay, so here you're supposed to explain and describe some activities. And it's written here, write your email 140 and 190 words. Now this is UK format. For SPM Malaysia format, you only need 80 words for email. So you don't have to write very much. However, you can take this as an example. Look at the tone. Look at the ideas shared. Look at how they link. Okay? Right. So the ending, you can end this way. Good luck. I hope I've helped you. Now, when you write, you have to respond to the sender. That means what he wants you to do. So he has mentioned that he has to prepare a talk. So say something about it. Respond to it. Okay? How do you feel about it? Let's go to the sample. Sample is on page 15. Hi, Billy. It was great to hear from you. You see how they start? Hi, Billy. Very informal, very relaxed, very friendly. Right? I hope everything is going well. Your talk sounds interesting. You see, you're talking and responding about your friend's talk. And I'm happy to help you. See, you are responding again. You're saying that, yes, I'm happy to help you. Because your friend asked you, can you help? You said, yes, I'm happy to help you. You don't say, I heard you have a talk. No, you're not hearing it. He has told you that. Okay, or she. All right. So first of all, there you have a linker there. When teenagers are at home here, they spend most of the time on the computer or watching DVDs. Okay, let's look at the highlights. Picture has highlighted for you so you can see where are the content points. Okay, right. So what do they do at home? They are on the computer watching DVDs. They also do homework. They help in the house or help on farm. Okay, so where do they go? Spend afternoons at the local sports ground. So where do they go? They go to the local sports ground. What do they do there? They also go to shopping centers. Okay, what do they do there? They meet in the cafe to chat. They go to the cinema. They go for a walk. Okay, in the local sports ground, what do they do there? Do that? Athletics and playing basketball or football. So content is fulfilled, you can get 5 marks. And look at the overall email. Is it friendly? Is the tone appropriate? Okay, is it interesting? Okay, you have everything there, then you can even get 5 marks for CA. And look at the organization. Okay, you have linkers, you have, first of all, you have when, you have those in between, you have otherwise. Okay, so if you look at the side here, you have the notes given. Okay, so for informal, how do we start? We can start with, first of all, okay, linking information, which is informal. You can look at the examples here as well as also to besides, apart from that, okay? So, and the language is, of course, flawless, right? Good words used. Okay, so it's A2 level, very easy to score. Let's look at another example. Here, on page 15, there is another question. Okay, you receive a letter from your English-speaking pen friend. But here we are talking about email, okay? I'm doing a social studies course at college and I've got a project to do about family life. Can you help? So your friend has asked you something. He has told you that he has a project and he's asking you for help. So when you reply at the intro part, you have to respond. Respond about your friend's project. Respond if you can help or cannot. Let's be kind. We help. Okay? Don't say, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I have exam. Don't do that. Okay? You have to be positive and help. Okay, could you tell me about your normal family routine at home? Family routine means what you do every day. Okay? Daily activities. That's the meaning of family routine. Okay, like your meals. If you don't understand family routine, look at the examples given. In the exam, you don't look at what you don't understand. Look at what you understand. Then you can do well. You can write well. Okay? Look, the examples are given. Meals means food, housework, and how you spend your leisure time as a family. I just need you to explain things and tell me what usually happens in your house. Love, team. So you are going to write and respond to team. Okay, you are going to be team's friend. Okay, look at the examples given at the bottom. But I find that you don't have to write in 5 paragraphs. 3 or 2 is just nice. Because we are required, in SPM Malaysia, we are required to only write the email in about 80 words. Don't write too long because you're going to take a lot of time. And you remember you need to write 2 more essays. Okay, let's go to the sample. So remember, you need to share about your family routine at home, how you spend time together as a family, and what usually happens in your house. So these 3 things. Yeah? Okay, so this is one example that I have written. Not I have written, but I've got this from one of my students. Okay, so hi team, it was great to receive your email. Looks like you're pretty busy. Your project sounds interesting. Sure, I'll help you. See, this student has responded. So Sam here. Sam has responded to Tim's project, and he has also mentioned that sure, I'll help you. Okay. So as for my family routine, you see, the first paragraph here, he's mentioning at the beginning itself that he's going to talk about his family routine. So very systematically organized. For the marker, there will be a tick there. Why? Because the content point is very clear. All right? Well, we usually have dinner together when everyone's back home after work or school. Of course, we help out with the dishes after that. I usually read a little before bed. So, roughly what happens every day in their house. They have meals together after everyone is back. Then they help out with the housework, dishes, and then he does some reading before sleeping. So, you know, this is their everyday work, everyday activity, normal family routine. The second one, when it comes to leisure time, you see, leisure time, so the marker or the reader will know, okay, this paragraph is going to talk about leisure time. So look at how the paragraphs are linked, very clear and systematic, okay? In the evening, my sister Kelly and I love cycling around the area. My dad will wash his car while Mom enjoys gardening. Besides, on weekend nights, we'll watch our favorite Korean series. Isn't that amazing? I just love family time. It's simply so precious. Don't you think so? Precious here means valuable, special. Okay? Well, I hope I've helped you here. You know well, I bet. That means he's trying to give his friends some encouragement about his project. Okay? Take care and bye for now. So the third paragraph explains about their leisure time activities. Okay? So look at the language, look at the variety of the structures, they're not the same. Okay, so this student has got full 20 marks. Okay? So where I have underlined and put an R there, meaning he has responded to the question. Okay, so the one underlined at the bottom in purple are those linkers and cohesive devices. And the one I've highlighted in blue are the content points which are fulfilled. Okay, and the one I circled in green are the contractions used in sentences, showing that it's very conversational, friendly, informal. You are here means you are. I'll, I will. Everyone's back. Everyone's means everyone is. Okay, so this is how you write an email. Let's look at another example of the same question. You tell me how many marks would you give this student? Also by a student of mine. Hi team, how's you? I heard you busy with your project. I also very busybody. In my family, all very busybody. I like to play in computer games every day. My sister also like games. My father, mother go work. Sometimes we like play games, eat, and mop house. We every day play games. We see TV and very happy family. I go late now. Okay, bye. See ya. Sam. Look back and think back on the content. You're supposed to write about your family routine. Okay, your everyday activities, your leisure time activities, what do you do on your free time? Okay, and and then we also have to look at the CA. Is the overall here sounds friendly? Is it like an email when you read? Okay, and then you look at the organization. Are there linkers? Are there paragraphs? And then you look at the language. How's the grammar? How's the vocabulary? How are the structures? Okay, remember this is A2 level. We don't look at the errors and straight away give no marks. Cannot. We have to look at all the criteria. So C-A-O-N-L. Okay, so how would you award marks? Is the content fulfilled? Is the communicative achievement, is it friendly? How's the genre? Is it like an email, or is it like a story, or is it like a review or article? Okay, sounds like an email. Okay, is it interesting? Not too sure about that. Okay, organization, are there paragraphs? Are there linkers? Okay, language, how's the language? Does it impede reading? Are there sentences you cannot understand? Or does it slow down your reading? Okay, let's look. Okay, this is what this candidate has got. 16 out of 20, which is also for me very high. Good marks. So this student is weak. And this is my student, and this student is weak. But look, this student is able to get 16 out of 20 for part 1 email. Let's look back one by one. Now, how you shows that it's friendly. Of course, there is an error there. It should be how are you, right? We don't look straight at the error. We look at the content first, we look at the tone, and then the last part, we look at the language, okay? I heard you busy with your project. Okay, so here, this candidate is responding to the question. He's saying something about the project. But he says, I heard you busy, but it's not that he heard, because the friend actually told him, okay? I also very busybody. So maybe here he means that he is also very busy. Busybody is a different meaning altogether, right? But perhaps this boy, he's not so sure. But we can understand. In my family, all are busybody. So I think he means that all are busy. Okay? In my family shows that he's linking the idea. The organization part is here. I like to playing computer games. We can understand he likes to play computer games. So this is family routine, or he's explaining his leisure time here, I suppose. Okay, so to play is an error, yeah, but we still can understand the sentence. My sister also like games. My father, mother go work. Maybe he's trying to say their family routine. He plays computer games, his sister plays computer games, his parents go to work. Sometimes, so this is under cohesive device or linker, here is under O, okay? Sometimes there should be an S there. We like playing games, so we like to. So what games not mentioned? Okay, so this part is not very clear. We don't know whether it's mobile games, online games, or other games like badminton and all that. Eat and mop house. So there are some points here. Okay, what they do as a family, they mop house, that means there's some housework done there. We every day play games. Okay, we see TV. So their leisure time activity is here. Watch TV. Okay, a very happy family. I go late now. This part can be a little bit confusing. We don't understand. So it can be under the impeding the reading part. Okay, so that's where you get slightly lower marks for language. So content-wise, full marks. Fulfill all the requirement of the question. For the idea sharing, there are some parts where it disturbs the ideas, not well explained. Maybe there should be a few examples. What kind of games? Okay? So that's why you got 4. Organization, 3 marks. And the linkers, the language, you got 3 marks as well. So 16 out of 20. Or you can even get 17 for that matter. Because this level is very low. Okay, so you see here, that's why teachers say, part 1, you should grab your marks. Because it's the easiest. Okay, let's go to the scale, right? So content relevant, target reader fully informed. That means when the person asks you, the person who wrote the email asks you about some ideas and some suggestions, you give all the suggestions and they can understand well, then they are fully informed. Okay, you can get full marks. Reasonably appropriate. Ideas using conventions of the communicative task, they are reasonably appropriately used. That means no need to be so perfect. Okay? Still you can get 5 marks. You can have errors and all that. Not very smooth. Still can get 5 marks. Okay? If somewhere in between, then you can give 4 marks. Teachers might give you 4 marks. Simple connectors used, cohesive devices used, very simple one, limited numbers written there. This is for the full 5 marks part 1. Basic vocabulary. We only need basic vocabulary. Okay, simple grammar, grammatical forms. Error are noticeable, but meaning can be determined. Okay, so that's where you get your marks for 5. Now, for 3 marks under part 1 scale, there are minor irrelevances. That is the content. There are points where it's not needed, but you put them in. Then that's where you lose your marks. Omission here means you missed out some points. Okay? Communicative achievement, how the ideas are put together, how you share, maybe it's not so clear. Sometimes language errors will disturb CA. It disturbs the smoothness of the reader. Okay, how the reader has to read a few times, then the ideas are not very clear. So the language mark might disturb the CA marks, where you get lower marks. Okay, right. Now, I hope part 1 you are clear. We are going to go to part 2. Part 2 is a formal essay. Sometimes it's semi-formal. It depends on the question, but it's definitely not informal. Okay. So part 2 is B1 level, and the topics are usually taken from the 4 themes and usually from the textbooks. Okay, full blast and download. So you read the questions carefully. So you have formal, semi-formal, and the ideas should be slightly mature. Okay, because this is B1 level, higher than A2. Okay, paragraphs, linkers, grammar, vocab, as usual, it should be all there. Okay. So this is one example of part 2 question. So remember this one, you need to write slightly more than the first one, 125 to 150 words. Okay, so your class has been discussing the importance of homework to students, and your teachers asked you to write an essay on should students be given homework after school. Okay, so you highlight, you underline. What do you need to put in your essay? What must you have? Do some planning when you get the question. Okay? In your essay, you should write about what you learned from doing homework. The reasons. You see the S there? Then you should give more than one. Okay? For your choice, what benefits? Again, the S there, circle the S. Show that you need to have at least 2. All these are very important. So if you give only one, then there might be omissions of points. Let's look. This is another example of a question. Okay, your class has been discussing the issues of plastic pollution. Your teachers asked you to write an essay on how can students play a role in reducing plastic pollution. In your essay, you should write about the causes, the effects, and how can students help to reduce. So you can look at your download book page 66-67 on the theme of health and environment. Okay, let's look. There are some examples here. There are some notes given on how to write a good intro. Okay, so let's look at the page 66, exercise 3. Exercise 3, you can see the example of how to write a good intro. Intro need not be very long, but the intro should should show a preview of the whole article that you're going to write. Meaning here, when I, as a teacher or marker, mark your article and I read your first paragraph, I will know that this whole article is about plastic pollution or banning plastic bags in shops. That is good. Okay? So you write your topic sentence and you write your opinion about it. For example, the one in blue, Every day, millions of plastic bags are used by shoppers for an hour or two and then thrown away. So this is a topic sentence. So we read the topic sentence, we know that this is about plastic used by shoppers, those who go shop for shopping. Okay? I think that banning them, I think that is you are sharing your opinion, your feelings. What do you think about it? Okay? Let's go on. So this is an example of that essay just now. The essay, the question is, some countries are now banning plastic bags in shops. Is this a good or bad thing for shoppers? So you have to include points. In your points, you have to include plastic rubbish, water pollution, and another idea of your own. Now, in SPM, the points will be given. Okay? So you have to put that points in your essay. Elaborate. Don't merely mention the points. Now, part 2, you have to give some elaboration, some extra examples, then you get your full marks for content. Don't just answer, don't just give the point on plastic rubbish is very bad. Finish. Then you won't get your content marks for that because you did not say much about it. You just merely mentioned the question. Remember that, huh? Part 2, B1 level, slightly higher. You need to write a bit more mature, give some ideas. Okay, let's look at the example. First of all, a huge proportion of our rubbish is made of plastic, which does not decompose, like paper and other waste products. So, we are talking about plastic that cannot be decomposed. This is the point. Okay, you have given example like paper and waste product in the same sentence. Plastic takes years to disappear from the land. So you're elaborating on the meaning of decompose. So you are showing your ideas, how mature you are when you share your points. The second one, in addition, you see the linkers tab, the cohesive devices, the paragraphs. Okay? Many of the world's oceans and rivers are polluted by millions of plastic bags, which are a danger to fish and other animals. So you're talking about how plastic can cause danger to animals. Okay, ducks and birds can get trapped in them and die. So you're giving elaboration. For instance, this is an example. For instance, here means for example. Okay, and the fish get slowly poisoned if they eat them. Moreover, see again the use of cohesive device. So this can be a very good way. So read and try to understand. Actually, I've done this unit 5. Okay, I'm going to show you another example, another question, where I have given this to my students, and let's look at how they answer and how are the marks awarded, which I think would be very useful for you. You should know how to score and how to avoid losing marks. Remember, teacher told you that at the beginning. Okay, so once you know this, it's clear in your head, then you will know where to focus when you write, where to grab your marks. Okay, your class has been discussing on the issues of plastic pollution, okay, and your teacher has asked you to write an essay on how can schools play a part in reducing plastic pollution. In your essay, you should write about the causes of plastic pollution. Causes here means the factors, the reasons. Why is it happening? So it's written causes, so you should give minimum 2. Don't just give 1. Okay? The effects, you see the aspect? The effects, the consequences of the problem. How can schools help to reduce it? Okay, so let's look at the first script. Okay, so here are the planning. Intro, you should write the topic on something about plastic pollution and your opinion, just like how they have asked you to do. Don't need to write so long for intro. Okay? Causes, effects, how can schools help or schools' role to reduce it. So you need to have this P in every paragraph in your content paragraph. What is P? The P I know is different. This P is different. PE stands for P for point or the topic sentence, E for elaboration, and the other E is for examples. Okay, so let's look at the example. So for the introduction, nowadays. So starts with nowadays. Okay, so we can see here the one in pink is the topic sentence, the point. And this one is not the point, sorry. This one is the topic sentence. This is introduction. Introduction, students, don't put any examples. Don't elaborate. It's just an introduction. It's a preview. It's just starting. The engine is just getting started. Okay? The journey is in the other paragraph, in the middle. Alright. So plastic pollution has become one of the most pressing environmental issues. So this is the topic sentence. In my strong opinion. So you're sharing your opinion. It is about time we students do something to rectify. Rectify means to stop, to reduce. Okay, the serious global issue. Let's go to the first point given, causes, the causes. Okay, I'm going to go straight to the highlights. Okay, among the causes of the plastic pollution is, so you see here, the first part, the one in orange, is the linker that you are not, or the starter point, the starter phrase that you are bringing the reader or the marker to your main point here in this paragraph, which are the causes. Okay, it's low cost to manufacture. That is, it's cheap. That's why many people are using plastic. Okay, so this is the first point. This means that from a business perspective, choosing plastic packaging is the most cost-effective method to gain profit. So this is the elaboration. Everyday citizens also prefer to use plastic because it's of its convenience and durability. Durability here means long-lasting. Okay, convenience means easy to use. Okay, easy to use. Furthermore, so you have a cohesive device here. Furthermore, here meaning you want to share another point, which is also related to the causes. The same, in the same line where it's related to the causes. So you use furthermore. Another dominant cause. Dominant here means serious or major. Cause is the irresponsible attitude of some citizens. Attitude. Who simply throw plastic trash everywhere, including drains, rivers, and oceans, without thinking of the environmental consequences. So you can see here elaboration and examples all in one sentence. If you are not comfortable in that, then you can split. Okay? Right. So let's go to the effects. So effects, more than one. So you can see the one in green, pink. Okay? Almost in pink are the effects. Consequently, almost in mustard orangey color are the linkers and cohesive devices. Okay, plastic pollution has brought a lot of grievous effects. Grievous means very bad. Okay, very bad effects, especially towards marine life. So you can see the use of words, laxis, uncommon laxis used is quite good and very effectively used. Plastic bags thrown in the ocean can potentially harm marine life by strangling it or choking them. So elaboration. Okay? Over time, so you are linking the first sentence to the next sentence. What happens? What are the effects? Large plastic degrades into small particles known as microplastics, which releases toxic chemicals. So when you read this sentence, I as a marker, when I read, I know this student has very good general knowledge about plastic pollution. You see, maturity comes in, your idea, your CA, showing a lot of good examples, very specific. So where do you get all these points from? How do you get all these ideas from? Through reading, through watching documentaries, okay? Watching TV on this pollution problems. All the themes and topics are in your book. Okay, look at the books, go to internet, go to YouTube and type them to learn more about them. Teachers can help you. Okay, teachers can assign you to do some projects on the environment or on other topics in your download book where you need to do some research. That's where it's good for your idea. Yeah, and it will also help you in your speaking. In your speaking assessment, because you have the ideas to elaborate. These are the topics that will come up. Okay, students? So that's why this student has got all these points. Alright. So I'm not going to go all, but I'm just going to highlight on the points highlighted here. Okay, so the second point here given is plastic materials are difficult to decompose. When plastic bags are burned, they release toxic substances into the air, causing air pollution. This can be health harming. So points given, elaboration given. And sometimes there are examples. Okay, right. So effects, okay, good. So how can schools help? Therefore is like showing as a result, it's about time actions should be taken to rectify. So you are highlighting the word actions here. That means schools are going to play a strong role here. Look at the second sentence. Schools play a strong role in educating students about the serious effects of plastic pollution. Various talks and seminars can be arranged on this matter. Teachers can educate students. How can schools help? So there are 2 points here. So this student has taken 2 points together and put elaboration for both the points. You can do that. You don't have to have elaboration for every single point. If both points are almost the same, you can combine them together and put your elaboration and examples together. Okay, like this. By showing videos of documentaries of how the environment is affected badly by major use of public materials, plastic materials. Besides, campaigns such as poster drawing and recycling projects, so examples given immediately after the mention of the point, campaigns can be organized by clubs and societies in the school. Yeah, through such worthwhile means beneficial or useful, okay, worthwhile activities, students can be taught on how to create paper and cloth bags for daily shoppers. The school management can also establish rules, whereby students must bring their own food containers and water bottles to school. You see, the students did not put a full stop after established rulings, full stop. If you mention the school management can also establish rulings, full stop, we don't understand. It's just a mere mention of the point, but no marks, because we did not elaborate. Just a bit of elaboration enough. For example, okay? This would be a great way to reduce the use of plastic containers and other materials. Clear? I hope I'm not going so fast. Okay, yeah? Now, conclusion. In conclusion, a simple switch can have a huge multiplier effect. That means just a small step can bring a big effect. Schools are often a great base for broader change. Okay, we go down. As someone once said, a small step taken in the right direction can end up bringing a big change in life. Let's hope for the betterment of our environment. So you see, very short and sweet in conclusion. It's not very long, but there is an impact. After you read, you feel like, oh, I have to do something. I have to stop using plastic. That's a very good article. So let's look at, so this now article, the student has got full 20 marks because of all the criteria very well used. Language also very good. Good lexis, good arrangement, organized well, points are all systematically arranged, all fulfilled. Okay, right. So let's look at the second script by another student. Plastic pollution, very bad healthy. Many places got plastic pollution. Class has been discussing the issues of plastic pollution and how can schools play a role in reducing plastic pollution. Now, this third sentence is actually taken from the question. The student has taken the question, part of a question, and put in the answer. So we can know this is taken from somewhere, from the question. All sick because plastic pollution. All sick who? Who is sick? We are not so sure here. Fish and pernu also die plastic pollution. Pernu? What is pernu? We Malaysians, we know, but you have to always think that the teachers are English teachers from UK. Because the EFR is UK based. So can they understand what is pernu? I don't know. I don't think so. So, but they can understand fish. Okay, so we still can take this as a point. People throw plastic pollution in seawater. Seawater? Seawater? So something is wrong there. So you need to read a few times to understand. Okay, that there is a connector there. Fish eat plastic and we eat fish and we die. There is some connection there. We can understand a little. Schools play a role in reducing plastic pollution. This again, I think, taken from the question. Say no plastic in school. No plastic in Tesco. Stay home because today we have plastic pollution. Now, the last two sentences can say that they are not really relevant to the question. Okay, say no plastic in Tesco has nothing to do so much about plastic pollution, unless it's really explained a little bit. So, if we look at part 2 scale, target readers should be fully informed. Okay, all questions should be touched upon and answered. Okay, and communicate ideas appropriately. Okay, just now the first scale, reasonably appropriately. Reasonably means average, but this one appropriately. Okay, all are generally well organized, coherent, variety, cohesive devices, language, use of everyday vocabulary. Some occasionally there means some inappropriate use of less common lexicons. That means there are new words, but maybe the new words are not well used. Okay, simple and complex grammatical form. Okay, errors do not impede reading. Okay, so that means even if there are errors, we can still understand. Okay, 3 marks if there are minor irrelevances. That means there are points that may not be asked. That means not related to the question. Or there might be omission of points. Omission here means you missed out some points. Remember, teacher told you part 2, you not only can mention you don't get marks if you just mention the points. You have to add a little bit of elaboration to explain on the points, to show your understanding. Okay? Otherwise, it's like just taken from the text or the question. Okay. Target reader is on the whole informed. That means not fully, but maybe half. We can understand still. Okay. Communicative achievement, reasonably appropriate. That means the ideas are okay, average. Okay. I still can understand, but some parts are a bit not very clear. Ideas are not very clear because not elaborated well. Okay. Organization, simple connectors, limited cohesive devices, language, mostly basic vocabulary, simple form of errors, grammatical errors, very basic errors. That means you can see overall the errors, from the errors you can know this student has very serious grammatical problems. Okay, errors are noticeable, you can see the errors, but overall meaning can still be determined. Okay. So what about if there are irrelevances for the content? Ideas are very simple, hardly any elaboration. Texts are connected very basically, and then vocabulary very basic, and some errors might impede the meaning. Okay, so let's look at what the second student has got. Okay, so if you look at the second student's essay, it's quite short, but we are not going to penalize what it is short, but we look at it as a whole. Has the student fulfilled the requirement of the question or not? So 2 marks for content. Like teacher said, for part 2, it's slightly higher, B1 level. You need to have some explanation of the points that you put. Don't just put the points, but no explanation. Okay? CA 2 marks, O 1 mark, and language 1 mark. 6 out of 20. Okay, so the range of this essay could be 6 or 7. No. But still, there is some marks. So if you are very weak, so you can still write something, don't leave blank. At least you get some marks. Okay? Right. So final reminders. I'm not going to take so much of your time. Let's go on very quickly and I'm almost done. Okay, read the questions carefully and spend some time for planning. Okay, you always look at the time. Time, you have to divide the time equally. You have 3 essays. The last essay is the longest. That will be in the next part of my YouTube sharing. This is only today's one, only part 1 and part 2. Okay, for the next video, I'm going to share part 3 and then I'll explain to you about the third essay. Okay, the length shouldn't be too long. Okay, follow the word count, but you made. Don't forget your linkers, paragraphs, and don't repeat the questions. Okay, how do you prepare for essays? You need to read your download textbook, read the comprehension passages. Like teacher told you earlier, for ideas, go to YouTube, look at the topics and do some searching. Okay, look at how the plastic pollution, for example, how is it, how is it affecting the whole world? Okay, and make some notes, write down some vocabulary words, good words that you have used, write them in context. Okay, right. So with that, today's session is over. I hope I've helped you. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to SSTP Kedah channel. And there is a feedback link at the bottom there. So please do click on the link and tell me, how do you find the lesson sharing today? Okay, give some feedback. Don't forget to click and write down your name, your school, and all that. And how do you find it today? Was it helpful or not? It will help me to improve as well. Okay, right. So I'm so happy that I've shared something, and I think whatever I've shared is going to be very, very useful to you. You can always keep looking back at the video. Okay, right then. So thank you for being with me today. Have a nice day and bye.